All right, well, this trailer has been out for about 13 hours at this point. Finally, after coming home from work, I get to sit down and make my video about it. So I know you've watched all the other videos from people who have made content about this already, but in case you wanted to watch a stupid idiot talk about Call of Duty Zombies for however many minutes, then yeah, if you enjoy this video and want to help support the channel, then leaving a like and subscribing would be very much appreciated. I don't want to take too long to get into this. I'm gonna watch this trailer, and then there's like a Intel video that they put out as well. And there's also a blog post that's really, really long. So that's probably going to be like the majority of this video. But I'm going to pause and point things out whenever I can. But I'm probably not going to do it too much on these videos. But yeah, the beta starts next week for early access. And then the open beta is like the week after. We have the vehicle that has been leaked forever. And I forget what the villain's name is. Is it the Warden talking? I might have just made that up. This was the teaser they put out the other day. Black Ops 7 Zombies. This actually looks really good. You know, I've watched this before. I watched it when it came out early in the morning, but yeah, this looks really, really good. There's Ted, by the way. Super cool. And here's the Wonder Vehicle. So they talk about this in the blog, but if you noticed on the back there, that's the Pack-a-Punch, which is super cool. Just like the leaks have been saying. And also you have the Margwa or Abomination heads on the front. But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna get me copyrighted, so I'm just gonna keep talking while this is playing. So yeah, we have this really cool shot of them driving on the vehicle. We have this new enemy type called the Ravager, I believe. They survive in the dark ether. Super cool. Yeah, and you get a speed boost with the Pack-a-Punch. It's super funny. And yeah, we have the diner location as well. I don't know if it's the like diner from Transit or whether it's slightly different. And then we have a new field upgrade. I think it's new. There's jump pads on the map. There's Ascension, which I think is actually Ascension. I'll talk more about that when it comes up. And there's the new perk, Wisp T. I remember FPS Psycho was saying like, oh, what if it's a T perk? It would be really funny because, you know, he's British. And also there's a new Wonder Weapon, which looks metal as fuck, by the way. And I think there was a small snippet of Takio's new voice actor like saying some lines there, but nothing really super concrete to go on. Oh, and by the way, Zombie Bear. Yeah, that's horrifying. That's gonna, holy shit. This is probably the like actual most surprising thing in this whole reveal, is that the survival mode for zombies is going to be playable in the beta. So that's gonna be fucking awesome. And it kind of makes me want to pre-order the game, but I want to buy new PC parts. The CPU that I want to buy isn't available currently, so I guess I can buy a few other parts that are cheaper right now, and then in a month, you know, focus on buying the CPU. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's the end of this trailer. Fucking Zombie Bear. This is a sick bastard. I thought this would be okay. Also, those cool death animations that they have. I don't know if Cold War had them, but Black Ops 6 had them, and they're really, really cool. They're unique for every enemy type, so that's really nice. Also, something to note, there are no Abominations, Manglers, Amalgams, Doppelgasts. I think there are Disciples, though. That's the only returning one that I remember seeing. There's also a cool thing that they're doing with the Disciples specifically as well. But yeah, this was a really cool trailer. It has, what, 1.6, almost 1.7 million views. And I can't see the dislikes, but I've seen people who have looked at it. It has a pretty positive, you know, like to dislike ratio. So it's very funny, the stark contrast between like the general game in terms of like campaign reveal, multiplayer reveal, and the zombies reveal is how like the attitudes between all the different communities are different. And here we have the zombies gameplay intel drop. I don't know what is actually in this because I've seen the trailer, but I haven't watched this yet. So if nothing super insightful is going to be said here, you know, I'll watch it and talk about over it. But yeah, if there's nothing super informative in this, then I'll just cut and skip to the blog post. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this.
One of the most ambitious zombies maps we've ever made.
We're doing a ton of dope and we're just getting started.
I love the Wonder Vehicle in the back.
Ashes of the Damned.
I think we learned what the vehicle actually looked like because, like, I think a streamer went to Treyarch and they, like, just were randomly showing a picture of it.
Is huge.
It was, like, super by accident. It's funny.
Made, and it's just terrifying and surreal, and it's a nightmare.
But yeah, this map aesthetically looks really, like...
When you first come in...
When Liberty Falls was revealed, the whole, like, aura and, like, aesthetic, you know, conversation was like the only thing people were talking about. And Terminus had more of it, so, but like for a launch map, this is exactly what I feel like most people have wanted, sort of like a
to get from destination to destination.
Sort of like a more fantastical, you know, it taking place in the dark ether type thing allows them to sort of mess with the aesthetic.
The new 5th member of your squad.
Also, yeah, the truck has a name and it's called Old Tessie.
You want to drive it, but it's not working.
You'll have to go in.
Also, there's Ted
and
in there.
Find Ted, the first upgrade.
It's
to
so
the
cool.
vehicle.
Once you get Ted and Ted is installed in the truck, he brings Tessie to life.
Oh, interesting. So in order to drive the truck, you have to find Ted to actually
Once you
operate
get
the vehicle. That's
attached to
interesting.
it, we need the Pack-a-Punch to get stronger to survive.
This looks
So
really
we
cool.
will take the jet engine and install it in the back of Tessie. And so now you have a mobile Pack-a-Punch machine.
That's so
but you
cool.
have
Also, Pack-a-Punch
boost
camo.
functionality.
The third upgrade is the Abomination Carcass. When this is added to the
Yeah, I
vehicle,
said Margaret, it's
its
Abomination.
durability
Excuse
against
me.
Zombies is increased, and the coolest thing that the Abomination heads can do is the laser
That's so
attack.
ridiculous.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty gross. And then the final upgrade is adding that DG2 turret to the roof.
Oh yeah, and the Wonderwaff turret on the back.
This
Yeah,
is
all
the
this stuff
first
was like
Wonder
leaked
vehicle that
about
we
it,
have
but
where
seeing it like
every
in
member of the
action is still
squad
super
can
cool.
Participate. There's a driver, there's a turret seat, and then for the two other players, there are things in the world that you want to be protecting the vehicle from.
The zombie bear.
Have
Why did they do this?
elite enemy, the Zursa. This thing is this giant zombie undead bear.
The
You gotta have
Zursa, that's what
something
it's called.
that is equal to the vehicle to feel intense, to fight, and scary. It also is covered in beehives that shoot bees at you.
Yeah, if it wasn't bad enough, the zombie bear has bees inside of it.
We are also introducing our new enemy type. The Ravager is a twisted
They're like
humanoid
denizens on
It
steroids.
really has a dual role, either attacking you or sometimes they'll prioritize stealing your stuff.
It jumps on your car.
You can steal your stuff. I think I saw it can steal like salvage and shit, which is
have that danger to it,
unfortunate.
that shrieky element to the vocalizations and to the whole sound design that yes, this thing is small, but
Also,
this
I think
thing will mess
I think that
you
little
up.
snippet you saw there of like the gameplay footage, the HUD, it looks like the multiplayer HUD, but they said some stuff about that
It's a Swiss that will attack the closest
in the blog,
zombies.
so I'll get to that in a
And
minute.
Depending on how you augment it, can revive you, it can heal you, it can do additional damage and shoot other zombies. Fireworks is the ammo mod that we're
So
gonna
yeah, new
bring
perk, new ammo mod.
Zombie, it spawns a bunch of fireworks.
It's fireworks
spiral
from,
out
it was
to go
fireworks in
other
BO4? I actually don't
zombie
remember.
area.
I know it was in BO3,
We
obviously,
want to
but
make sure that BO7 is an interesting and a dynamic
First-person
experience for
gameplay?
both new and unfamiliar players and seasoned hardcore players.
We have survival maps for casual
Yep,
players.
survival
directed
map.
mode for our beginner players. We have curse mode.
Directed
for
mode is coming
hardcore
back.
Players.
And there's the cursed mode, which is the
Focusing
quote-unquote
on
classic
our
mode that I was
engaged
talking about and
players
everybody's been talking
and
about.
giving
So
them additional
it's not
challenges.
exactly
The
just a
idea
mode
is
that you
once
choose
you
between.
finish
There's
the
it's more
main quest on the
complicated than
map,
that. I'll get into
we
that.
unlock these things that we call relics. And so you're choosing how you want to make the mode harder, but by making the mode harder, you're also going to be opening up a lot of new content. We're actually going to increase
Looks like I don't have to explain it.
levels.
They explain it right
There's
there.
also some Easter eggs that are only going to be discoverable when you're engaged in cursed mode. We're not holding back this year. I don't think players are going to be ready for what
So
they're
yeah,
about to
cursed mode
experience.
sounds more like a
I think it's
customizable hardcore
most
mode than just a
atmospheric and dark
straight
mode
up
we've had.
The vibe of Ashes of the
Classic
Damned
mode.
is absolutely insane, and we're just getting started.
This looks really good. I know COD cycle, yada yada, but like it really seems like this is the game that apparently these games were both developed at the same time. So, but it definitely seems like, at least from this sort of pre-launch area that we're in, that the this game has definitely gotten more attention than BO6 has. I can't wait to watch all the videos from like all the other, you know, actual big content creators, you know, like Mr. Waffle Waffles and everything, just talking about all this cool stuff. But yes, if you come over here and go to the blog post, all you need to know about Black Ops 7 Zombies full gameplay deep dive and a tour of the launch map, Ashes of the Damned. That's a really cool name. But yeah, we have the trailer here, and I'm not sure, I guess I'm gonna just read through it and then comment on things that I want to elaborate on and whatnot. But it's crazy because like a transit remake or remaster has been like rumored in zombies for like, I feel like ever since BO2 came out, and sort of, I guess like the, what is it called? Zombie Chronicles for BO3 was a thing. People have been rumored and leaking things about like a transit remake happening. And up until this point, it's never been really a thing. Now, obviously this isn't like a one-to-one remake. It's more like a reimagining in a sense. But yeah, it's really cool that this is the route they're going down for the launch map of the game. Welcome to Ashes of the Damned, the first Black Ops 7 round-based zombies map available to play at the launch of the game on November 14th. So the release date is still November 14th. I'm not sure if they're ever going to move it up like the rumors have been saying, but this is the latest sort of official information about the game, and the release date is still the same. So as of this point, the release date is still the same. The narrative overview: though the story picks up where we left off at the culmination of Black Ops 6's Reckoning, players would be wise to question exactly where this new crew has been transported to. The entire Black Ops 7 story takes place within the beating heart of the Dark Ether, including future maps as different timelines collide in the form of a combined 8-person crew. So yeah, the whole sort of the entire story for this game takes place within the Dark Ether, so the maps are going to be like super crazy. That rumor is also being confirmed here. Dempsey, Nikolai Richtofen, Maya, Weaver, Carver, and Gray are all dedicated crew characters, and although any Black Ops 7 operator can be chosen in Zombies, you'll experience additional conversations and the rich story if you and your teammates choose from the crew, just like Black Ops 6. Longtime Zombie fans will recognize 3 familiar voices returning to portray new Black Ops 7 incarnations of Dr. Edward Richtofen, voiced by Nolan North, Nikolai Belensky, voiced by Fred, I'm gonna butcher this, Tatiscore? We're gonna go with that, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat a hat. And Tank Dempsey, voiced by Steve Bloom, along with the debut of Nelson Lee as the voice of Takeo Masaki, now hailing from the 16th century feudal Japan. So yeah, there wasn't a ton of dialogue in that trailer, but I believe Takeo said like a line or two in there. It's not super clear, but the entire Black Ops 7 Zombies experience is a wild ride across the Dark Ether with a full complement of maps planned across the post-launch seasons. Expect more round-based maps, the second of which will drop during Season 1, as well as additional survival maps throughout the seasons. So is this confirming that there will be a map every single season and not sort of like with Black Ops 6 where there was a season where we didn't get a map? And also this is confirming that every single season there are going to be survival maps as well. I'm assuming the survival maps are going to be based off of this map because it's the big one with a bunch of POIs and everything. And it's cool that they're going to be adding survival maps in addition to the normal maps that we're getting, but at the same time, BO2 launched with all of the transit survival maps, I believe, when the game came out. So the fact that in this game they're being sort of drip fed over the course of the game's life is kind of like but at the same time, BO2 didn't make survival maps for the other, DLC maps, so I guess in that respect it's fine. But moving on to the environment, this is a cool screenshot. It's the pyramid location that you can see in the villain's sunglasses in the promotional image here, with the pyramid in the background. It sort of looks like it's like on a snowy mountain foresty region, which I guess makes sense because the sort of general location that the map is based off of being like transit, sort of like rural, like mountainous America. So yeah, I guess that does make sense. Though the crew may have doubled, the whereabouts of support members are unknown and they must explore an environment doing its level best to kill them all the time. The exploration occurs in unprecedented territory where the earthly rules of engagement do not apply, and now more than ever, staying together as a squad is the key to survival. Ashes of the Damned can best be described as an off-world Bermuda Triangle. I've heard this talking about this map before where they describe it in that exact phrase, where various earthly and celestial locations were transported and dropped into this place. Beginning with a twisted otherworldly Janus Towers that once resided in Liberty Falls, there are 6 terrifying and surreal main locations to investigate, all linked together by treacherous and unforgiving roadways teeming with deadly threats. So there are like minor locations between the main locations as well as secrets to find on the fog-ridden sort of pathways connecting each location. This map is an exploration into the Dark Ether, a purgatory where scattered places from other times and dimensions loom out of the fog. Below is a mere cursory glance at some of the areas to investigate. So yeah, we have the starting, which I'm assuming is the starting area, which is the plaza from Janus Towers. It's the outside that we actually didn't get to see in the Reckoning. So yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be where you spawn. A triple-towered superstructure violently crashed into a warped and hostile dimension. One tower has collapsed completely, while electricity sparks and crackles from severed power lines arcing into the oppressive skies. So does that mean the tower from one of the towers from the Reckoning was like ripped from like that location, or is it just sort of like a parallel location? Like, was the real, quote-unquote, real world affected by this being here now? I don't think so, but the way they described it as being violently crashed into a warped and hostile dimension makes it sort of sound like it was ripped from its real world location. But maybe I'm just smoking dick, I don't know. Anyways, and we have Farm here, which is the iconic BO2 location. I have no idea what this thing is right here. But yeah, it's called Van Dorn Farm. I don't know if it had a name in BO2. It was just called Farm, right? A once idyllic homestead, now a horrific memory of one family's descent into madness and ritualistic terror. Yeah, you can see them all like sitting here as skeletons eating dinner. I'm not going to zoom in on that picture to see what it is, but yeah, I believe you can obviously go into the barn and go upstairs, and I believe there's a prick machine up there. I think it's depth perception from what people were analyzing the teaser yesterday that came out. And we have Blackwater Lake. This is the location where the snowy mountain pyramid place are. It kind of looks like, it reminds me of Until Dawn, which is funny because I've never played in the game, but I've seen people play. Yeah, a mountainous log cabin type area. And I see this, and it just reminds me of Infinite Warfare Zombies, which again is funny because I've never played it, but tormented phantoms and a drowning in the dark waters. That's weirdly phrased. Am I just stupid? I might just be stupid. A single act of horror is remembered across an afterlife of guilt. See, nothing super detailed about this location. All right, I'm back from eating dinner. Where was I? Oh yeah, here. We have the next location, Ashwood, a frontier town sunken into a rift overrun and its inhabitants massacred in a war of a bygone era. The dead are more than memories here. So this is like, I guess, the sort of town location. And there's another one of those structures like we saw on Farm. So I wonder if there's sort of like an Origin style power turn on for every single location. That'd be neat. And this little blood scrawling says we are all sinners. This does remind me of town because the town obviously has the church like off in the background that you can't really get to. At least I don't think you can. But and then we have the next location, exit 115, which is really funny. I think 115, there was a time previously in the story where 115 was actually mentioned, I believe. But yeah, this is a funny little nod to, you know, relatively important story aspect of like the whole zombies game mode. But once thriving, this rest stop and crumbling freeway overpass was torn from its original location. There are faint echoes of a doomed confrontation. Only desperation and betrayal remain. So yeah, this seems, at least in part, to be like ripped from Transit directly, where you have the diner. I wonder if the interior is the same, and then you have the like mechanic garage next to it as well, and some other stuff around it seems. But in the next location, this one's really interesting, the Zarya Cosmodrome. So initially I remember seeing the image in the dude sunglasses of this location, and I was like, it's a rocket test facility, but is it like the actual Ascension Cosmodrome? And one, the fact that they call it a Cosmodrome and not just like a generic rocket test facility, and its name here tips me off to it being Ascension. But if we read on, those hearing voices before reaching this world now speak of betrayal, sabotage, and scientific hubris. Greed and darker influences have prevented an ascension. So yeah, if there wasn't if there were any doubts about whether or not this is actually the Russian Cosmodrome from Ascension, then, you know, there it is. I don't remember if the actual Cosmodrome from Ascension in BO1 had an actual name or whether it was just called Ascension the whole time, but yeah, that's really neat. I wonder why this, out of all the locations that they could have chosen, they chose Ascension. It's really interesting. And then we have the fog, the in-between areas and minor POIs between the major locations. Referred to simply as the fog, much of the traversal road, some with additional areas of investigation such as a grounded ship or a forest of monoliths, are blanketed in a layer of foreboding mist. Transportation is advised through these shrouded areas, as only the bravest or most foolhardy venture through these areas on foot. So yeah, they talk about later, but these sort of in-between areas between the major locations is like more dangerous, and enemies run faster and a whole bunch of other crazy things. There's a bunch of secrets that you can find there as well, according to this blog post. So yeah, I wonder what navigating that solo is going to be like. That must be fun. I'm assuming this is in the sunken town. We have this cool shot of the Ravagers attacking all the characters in the Wonder Vehicle. Yeah, here we go. Don't expect a gradual increase in difficulty if you decide to run through the fog-laden areas. Skill and preparation are needed before venturing here, and overstaying your welcome in these zones may result in a significantly challenging environment. Enemies here seem to be far more powerful, appearing more rapidly and moving at a faster speed. While you're dealing with this increased threat, watch your step. Explosive growths are also lurking in the fog. So does that mean like there are just randomly explosive plants in there that will just kill you? That seems sadistic, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point. And here we go, the new Wonder Vehicle, Old Tessie. Ashes of the Damned is a deadly network of roadways to travel between its main locations. Fortunately for you, there's a rusting pickup truck nearby that looks tough enough to withstand an undead battering, though it isn't quite battle ready yet. This truck is tough, but it isn't impervious to the forces of the dark ether, and after severe battering, it can become temporarily inoperable. Keep an eye on its reinforced steel frame and react accordingly if Old Tessie needs a pit stop. So maybe you can like stop at like certain locations to repair it. Methods to repair this Wonder Vehicle remain to be seen, so maybe it's not going to be as simple as just stopping at a gas station and repairing it. I have this screenshot here of the fucking horrifying zombie bear in the background. Also, I'm assuming these are the bees. Those who explore carefully enough may even discover a series of upgrades to improve their chances of survival, from a familiar former bus driver's head to a mountable DG2 turret. It's interesting that they reference the TED head as like an upgrade when you need it to drive the vehicle in the first place, at least according to the developer insight video that we just watched. New wonder weapon, the Necrofluid Gauntlet. In addition to blasting maggot sacks to atoms with the classic ray gun and ray gun Mark II, they're confirming the inclusion of the ray gun Mark II in Black Ops 7, which is really cool. This is your brand new wonder weapon to wield in Ashes of the Damned. Here's this cool screenshot of Takio shoryukening a zombie with the wonder weapon. Upon discovery, the Necrofluid Gauntlet is a black skull fang glove that glows with a bilious. I'm assuming that's like bile, but it's describing it as bilious words. Greenish hue. This ancient artifact seems to be deadly at both melee and long ranges. Its umbral surface veins choked by viscous liquid that the gauntlet seems to control. In fact, the entire weapon seems to be alive and hungry. It reminds me of the way they describe the Gorg effects as sort of being like alive from the Reckoning. But yeah, this is the kind of cool shit that I want in zombies. Really over the top and crazy wonder weapons. It reminds me of the gauntlets from Ancient Evil from BO4, which I've never played, but I've seen enough people play it that, you know, I'm aware of their existence. But yeah, this is like one of the most metal looking wonder weapons I can remember seeing. It looks so cool. I'm sorry, I could watch this GIF loop for like ever. Okay, hold on. I'm going to keep reading before I get distracted. Command the gauntlet and the dark liquid can be reshaped into powerful spikes that shoot forth, skewering targets at range before being summoned back into the gauntlet, inflicting further damage. It's rumored that the necrofluid gauntlet has vampiric tendencies and can also pull in items and power-ups from a distance. That's neat. I wonder if the vampiric tendencies is sort of referring to maybe like an upgrade that will give it like lifesteal. That'd be interesting. And the next section, we have a brief bestiary. They're going to talk about some of the enemies here. Forced through the veil and into the dark ether, you'll face an array of damned souls, some torn from their realities that now wander across forbidden lands, cursed to hunt without end. This is not a full accounting of the horrors you'll encounter, but a glimpse of the threats and oddities awaiting you in Ashes of the Damned. So I'll be curious to see if there's like stuff in the full game that is not shown here, because they show a lot here, which is, you know, it would be surprising if there was even more enemies in the game when it comes out. Base zombies and armored zombies, super basic. Yeah, they talk about how they can, like, if you get far enough away, the zombies will like rip parts of themselves off and throw it at you. And here we have the Ravagers. Said to be a tortured minion of an unknown evil, the Ravager prowls the dark ether on all fours, usually in packs lurking in the shadows until the moment it can strike. Drawn to material spoils, the creature consumes salvage and other dropped provisions, a habit that can directly impact your survival in the field. So yeah, this fucking little gremlin can steal your resources and impact your... I would be so pissed if I'm one salvage drop off of being able to upgrade my gun's rarity, and I see one of these little fucks scurry across the ground, just chomping down on my salvage. Packs of Ravagers are especially dangerous, overwhelming squads with relentless flurries of sharp-clawed wounding. I can speak English. More than just scavengers, Ravagers can also latch onto moving vehicles, even at high speed. So yeah, they're going to be a problem, it sounds like. And just like in the trailer we see Zursa, the zombie bear. An apex predator twisted by the dark ether, the Zursa is no ordinary bear, but a hulking undead monstrosity whose thick hide and parasitic infections make it an elite level threat, driven by madness and aggression, and mauls with bite and claw strikes that not only deal heavy damage, but also wound victims, leaving them vulnerable to lingering harm until they recover. So maybe there's like a sort of stunning slow effect if you get hit by certain attacks. The aftermath of my homie saying he can 1v1 a full-grown bear. When Zursa roars into combat, expected to charge in on all fours, battering through teams or slumming into old Tessie. As if its raw strength weren't enough, the Zursa is a host to parasitic insects, so-called zombies. I hope whoever wrote that steps on a Lego that swarm from hive-like growths infesting the beast's fur and skin. These clouds of stinging death add chaos to an already fraught fight. When taken on alone, the Zursa is a towering menace. Amid other threats, it becomes a mauling engine of devastation. Yeah, this is fucking horrifying. General intel: Black Ops 7 changes to enemies. This is an interesting thing. I wonder how much detail they're going to be going into here. Expect some adjustments and changes to enemies in Black Ops 7 zombies. Audio cues: did you hear that? Expect to hear a special round audio stinger when zombies' strength increases. Okay, so there's a audio cue for when zombies actually get stronger. I think they always like have been transparent about like the thresholds at which zombies get stronger, but that's usually in like stuff like this, like dev blogs and other things like that. So having like an in-game way to tell besides just like, you know, I guess being hit or shooting them is nice. Fewer super sprinters. Faster moving zombies, aka super sprinters, which start to appear at higher rounds, will increase in frequency at a lower rate as rounds continue past 55. I don't think I've ever played a single... I think I might have played like 1 or 2 games to like round 55 or maybe close to that. And the maximum number of super sprinter zombies in a round will be lowered slightly while still keeping the challenge high. So armored zombie adjustments: heavy and light armored zombies are weighed down by their protective skeletal armor and are slower and more durable. Armored zombies no longer super sprint in higher rounds. Overall, zombie armor is more easily destroyed but more durable against explosive splash damage. Okay, interesting. Certain weapon and attachment combinations are more effective at armored zombie takedowns. So I know that we're like in Black Ops 6, some of the different rounds you can put in your weapons, like FMJ is like, I still don't know if that actually increases damage against like armored zombies and stuff like that. So if it doesn't, then this is sort of saying that stuff like that would, you know, actually do more damage to zombies in this game. And sliding knockdown: sliding into a normal zombie knocks it down but doesn't inflict a lot of damage, so that's neat. I guess. And then we have jump pads across the map as well. Once power has been restored to the local area you're navigating around, aside from bringing some illumination to the horrors you're confronting, you can also investigate several mysterious technical marvels across Ashes of the Damned known as jump pads. So yeah, it seems like you'll be able to jump across large portions of the map without having to traverse with the vehicle or running through the fog on foot. So there's another option for map traversal as well. And then we have the saw blade trap. I saw this was in the teaser they put out here on farm. It's actually this one. I think Dempsey walks by it or something like that. But yeah, it's a saw blade trap. Is it like the trap from Blood of the Dead? Survivalists lost in time to the dark ages seem to have gathered a variety of junk equipment and fashioned into viciously effective chimera of traps. A small plastic doll sat on 3 megaphones, below which is a chainsaw with circular saw blades embedded into it, attached to a vehicle engine and connected to a power switch. Flip that switch by expending essence, and a haunting beat complete with soft wailing sounds wafts through the air. The eerie music attracts the zombies, the multi-bladed chainsaw brings the carnage, and any nearby undead foe gets minced into awful words. Yeah, and like, this is cool, but I never really used the traps in Black Ops 6, I'll be perfectly honest. I think I was streaming yesterday. By the way, if you see me live, if you'd hop in the chat and chill out. But I was streaming on the Tomb yesterday, and I used the arrow wall trap that I forgot existed because I was doing a SAM trial, and it was like, oh, kill enemies with this trap. I was like, oh shit, I forgot this even existed. But yeah, we have part 2 now. Dark preparations, modes, and loadouts. So this is really interesting. Black Ops 7 launches with several modes along with the highly anticipated return of Dead Ops Arcade 4. Expect zombies experiences designed for all manner of undead slayers, from the novice to the hardcore zombies veteran. So yeah, there's a ton of different modes in this game. I believe there's like the regular round-based, there's the survival maps, there's directed mode, there's the quote-unquote classic mode, which we'll talk about in a second, and then there's Dead Ops Arcade. So there's what, 5 modes? Also, I didn't realize this until somebody like pointed it out on the internet, but yeah, for some reason Dead Ops Arcade is only in every odd numbered Black Ops game. So yeah, here we have the 4 quote-unquote regular modes, I guess. We have standard, play the new round-based map Ashes of the Damned, continuing the fight against the undead horde within the dark ether and searching for clues to the truth of what lies ahead. Recommended for experienced players. This will include access to the main quest, side quest content, and will be available at launch on November 14th. Opt for a streamlined path through a zombies map where clear objectives and guided progression keep you locked on the main quest. This is an experience that's more approachable for newer players or those chasing story-driven completion. Expect directed mode to launch after standard in a similar cadence to Black Ops 6. So yeah, directed mode will be added probably mid-season of the season 1, I'm gonna guess. And survival maps are coming, and we have the survival mode. Survival maps are coming to zombies for the first time since Black Ops 2, delivering a focused, unfiltered experience based on a small part of Ashes of the Damned at launch. There are no quests other than you and your squad surviving against the relentless undead for as long as you can. Again, I'm not really sure why there aren't multiple survival maps for Ashes of the Damned at launch, and then over the seasons, the survival maps that would be added would be from the newer, I don't know. It's weird. Not really sure how I feel about that still, but I guess it's a minor gripe in the grand scheme of things. And then we have Cursed Mode, which is this is the thing that a bunch of people are excited about. Take on a new experience featuring some legacy mechanics with numerous side quests to unearth increasingly potent and cursed relics. Activate these relics to face harder challenges in exchange for new levels of power, replayability, and rewards. Fucking zombie bear. Anyways, tailor-made for the hardcore, crafted for those seeking a more demanding experience with new layers of challenge to discover and overcome for access to unique rewards. This is one of Black Ops 7's biggest innovations, directly inspired by feedback from the zombies community. You can't even enter Cursed until you fulfill certain criteria. Once you've figured out how to access the mode itself, you'll start your Cursed match with some familiar friends, only a trusty pistol in your hand with no loadout weapons available, no minimap, and a classic point system inspired by Black Ops 3. So it is directly stated to be the Black Ops 3 point system, which I guess is just the point system that has been in the game since World at War. From there, your focus is on finding archaic artifacts of great power hidden away across dark ether, time, and space. These are known as relics, each one themed around a totem from Black Ops Zombies history. Every relic has a unique condition to discover, and the requirements needed can be unforgiving. So I wonder what kind of funny nods to the past that we're going to see as relics in this. These cursed relics aren't simply here to display in a trophy cabinet. They provide a debuff modifier, making your subsequent matches even more challenging. Each relic offers a unique challenge to overcome, and once unlocked and applied to a match, several of these modifiers can enable further restrictions that longtime fans will find familiar. A limit to 4 perks or the removal of ammo caches are just 2 examples. So yeah, 4 perks specifically being part of the quote-unquote classic mode, which you now know is cursed mode, which is not just a classic mode, it is a sort of hardcore mode that you can add and take away modifiers onto. Specifically, the 4 perk limit is not a like default built-in restriction in that mode. It is something that you have to, it's something that you opt into, I guess, or maybe if you equip enough relics, it is enabled by default. But with relics becoming available in varying degrees of cursed power, your future cursed matches available as private matches with the host's collection of relics available to pick from. are set to become even more hectic as you hunt down more dangerous artifacts. Each Black Ops 7 Zombies map will also have more relics to discover throughout the post-launch seasons. That's cool. Why increase yourself by choosing relics to increase the challenge? Because doing so is the key to unlocking more powerful relics, as well as granting you classified benefits and rewards unique to the mode. Good luck. You will need it. Yeah. That shit sounds fucked, but I'm going to be curious to see how that all works. I remember Black Ops 4 had like a mode where you could like add modifiers and stuff like that. I don't remember how in-depth it was because I barely played it when I did play Black Ops 4, but yeah, this for Black Ops 7 seems like a really, really cool idea. You give the crowd of people who want the certain aspects of the older games, you give it to them while being able to make the game even harder if you so desire. And there's apparently in-game rewards for doing so. So that sounds really neat. Down on the farm, survival mode intel. The first survival map coming at launch is a focused bite-sized experience set on the Van Dorn family farm that lies within the larger round-based zombies map. This is just a taste of the main event waiting for you in Ashes of the Dam, providing an opportunity to jump in and simply slay some zombies with no distractions. So this will probably be the map all the camo grinders and, you know, Warzone social multiplayer people play to get their camos and level up weapons and everything. I know some people feel some type of way about like people who play the other modes sort of, and I guess I'm gonna throw up when I say this in my mouth, but you know, sort of like being a tourist when it comes to the zombies and everything. But on one hand, yeah, I would like to see people get more into this mode, you know, people who normally wouldn't, and get like really stuck into it, you know, in terms of like doing Easter eggs and looking into the story and everything. But if at the bare minimum stuff like this gets people to play the mode, period, some of those people might turn into, you know, the crazy weirdos like me who are super into zombies and have been for the past, like, when did World at War come out? 2008? 2007? I don't remember, but over like 15 years. It was 2008, I was right. So the past 17 years? But yeah, not everybody who hops into this mode for like camo grinding or leveling up weapons is gonna like be, quote unquote, be converted into a hardcore zombies fan, but some of them might be. So I feel like overall that is still a benefit, and people playing the mode, period, is also a benefit. In survival, you and optionally your teammates venture within the perimeter of the map, in this case the farmstead, and hold out for as long as possible. There are fewer places to run while Tessie is out of commission, and tactical positioning is the key to keep the undead forces at bay. Once the power to the farm has been restored, you have a focused plan to survive for as long as possible, but with little chance of escape. Inaccessible caches and machines available in standard mode appear in an identical location in survival mode. Any other interactive crafting tables, wall buys, or machines not in the standard mode area of the map are moved into the survival map, allowing you to be fully tooled up, provided you've got the necessary essence and salvage. So it's not like old BO2 survival where, depending on the map, it would have some features and some not. Bus Depot, I believe, didn't have it didn't have any perks, but it had a mystery box. And then Farm had perks and a mystery box, but no pack a punch. And then Town had everything. So yeah, it seems like in the survival maps in this game, you'll have all the stuff that you need to actually play the game and have fun. So yeah, here it says, for example, in standard mode, Van Dorn Farm doesn't have a pack punch machine or the Wonder Fizz machine, so both are dropped into the survival mode map. So that's good to see. In survival, your options are clear. Fight for as many rounds as you can, judging the best time to flee via exfil before you get overwhelmed by the dead. So there is still exfil in survival, which is cool. And the thing they do with the exfil in this game, which I don't know where they talk about it, it's probably down at the bottom, is really interesting. So we'll get to that eventually. And here they leave this little snippet here, even though it was like the huge like pop off at the end of the trailer. Survival mode is playable in the Black Ops 7 beta, and the best part, you'll be able to play survival mode in the Black Ops 7 beta. Get ready to sink your teeth into a small taste of the full Ashes of the Damned experience next week. Look for more information about accessing this mode on our forthcoming Call of Duty Next coverage on September 30th. So yeah, Call of Duty Next is on September 30th, and then the beta starts on the 2nd if you pre-order the game, and the 5th if you just wait for the open beta. I'm really tempted to pre-order the game now, because just my whole like wanting to buy new PC stuff, I was like, oh, I might have to hold off on buying tons of games in addition to like my real life expenses that I still have. But yeah, maybe I can hold off on some of the more expensive parts and still buy the game when it comes out. I'm kind of worried how it's going to run, but I mean, if it's the same thing as Black Ops 6 and it's being released on PS4 and Xbone, then how demanding could the game possibly be? So yeah, match preparations, loadouts, it's cursed exempt, so you can't do this in cursed mode. You spawn in with the pistol, and that's fucking that. I love all the screenshots in this, by the way, where they have all the different characters from the different crews like interacting with each other. It's really cool. The shot from the reveal trailer where Maya and Richtofen are next to each other, that's super neat. Tool up and choose your preferred offensive capabilities in the weapons zombies loadout menu, where you can bring the following with you into the direct ether in modes other than cursed: a ranged weapon from the primary or secondary categories. Specific attachments within the gunsmith continue to offer zombies specific benefits like increased chance at criticals, Increased chance at criticals or salvage. I really hope that more barrels than the suppressor offer extra salvage, because yeah, having to put a suppressor on and like ruin the sound of your gun is like, I guess it's not that important, but like I want to hear my gun do the shoot bang. A single melee weapon, so the dedicated melee slot is still a thing. A field upgrade that can be changed in the match at the pause menu like in Black Ops 6. Tactical equipment, including the Simmel Monkey and the Casimir. So does that mean you can equip those and actually take them in with you? Because you can look at them in the tactical slot like in your loadout in BO6, but you can't actually like equip them and start the game with them. So this makes it sound like you can actually do that. Lethal equipment, Gobblegum pack, and yeah, your Gobblegum inventories from Black Ops 6 will be accessible in Black Ops 7. And Black Ops 7 loadout confirmations and changes. So we have the build codes, which is a thing they revealed in like the multiplayer reveal, I believe. And yeah, you make a weapon and you generate a code and you can share that code everywhere. So if there's like a specific setup that's like really good, you can share that with everybody. I believe there's only so many weapon combinations that you can actually do, just because there's a certain amount of guns, there's a certain amount of attachments, whatever. But so the codes are preset, so it's not like a randomly generated code. There are set codes. 30 weapons to level up and unlock. There are 30 weapons to choose from at the launch of Black Ops 7. You can take it into zombies, each with an impressive leveling journey with multiple military, special, and mastery camos. Consult the multiplayer intel blast blog for further details. So yeah, there's gonna be so much shit in this game. I don't know if my mind or soul is ready. My body isn't ready, but I treat my body like shit, so fucking whatever. Weapon prestige. This is a thing coming from Black Ops 4, I believe. Weapon prestige is available in zombies for all Black Ops 7 weapons, including the ability to unlock a unique prestige attachment and more weapon camos with each weapon. So yeah, there's a ton of grind in this game that is going to occur. Support weapons. These return to Black Ops 7, including the all-new Disciple injection, as well as a selection of Black Ops 7 ordnance. Find these as drop to loot or build them at your crafting table. So yeah, we have the casual drop of the Disciple injection as a new thing, like the mutant injection that they launched Black Ops 6 with. Did they show this in the trailer? I don't think they did. It might be stupid and just misremembering, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. And yeah, that I'm assuming this means the Disciple is returning as an enemy in this map. It'd be really funny if the mutant injection is also in Black Ops 7. I actually don't think it's going to be, because it doesn't say here explicitly that it is, and I assume none of the like support weapons from Black Ops 6 are going to be in this. So I was gonna say it would be really funny if the only way manglers come back in Black Ops 7 is because you can turn into one yourself, but it actually doesn't seem like that's the case. And melee weapon adjustments. There's a beneficial change coming to melee weapons in Black Ops 7, allowing them to inflict criticals and more damaging attacks, allowing for much more personality with every melee weapon you use. Look for full explanation of this feature later on in this blog. So yeah, there's sort of just expanding the moveset and allowing them to do critical hits. Is it like a chance of critical hitting, or is it like, I guess I'm sort of thinking at this from like a camo perspective, but I mean, the melee weapons are probably just going to be get kills anyways. It'd be weird if they were like get critical kills, because now they have the ability to, but if the ability is like a chance to happen, like I'm assuming it is, and it's not just guaranteed every single time you do it, then yeah, I'm assuming it's just going to be regular melee kills. And section 3, where how many sections are in this blog? Okay, well, there's 5, but 4 and 5 are really short, and 3 is the fucking longest one. Holy shit. Yeah, this video is going to be way longer than I thought it was going to be. All right, well, we move. So yeah, the main forms of currency in zombies, essence, salvage are returning. Essence, you kill zombies, you get essence. You can get them from power-ups and objectives that you do. And I always forget this is a feature, but yeah, you can, with teammates, pay for doors together. So you can put a certain amount of money forward for it, and then your teammate can do the rest, or however you do it. But yeah, points are very rarely a problem, and I usually play solo anyways. So anyway, this is all the stuff you spend your essence on. And this is interesting, actually. So certain Gobblegum's gunsmith attachments, as well as Vulture Aid perk augments, can influence the amount of essence dropped. So there's going to be an attachment that in zombies allows you to get more essence, or I guess a chance to get more essence. I'm assuming that's how that's going to work. So yeah, salvage is returning, which I know some people don't really like the salvage system and the rarity system and everything. It doesn't really bother me. It gives you something to do besides just pack a punching your gun twice, and then by round 20 you have like 50 bajillion points. So you upgrade your weapons with the salvage from gray to orange, and then certain attachments as well as Vulture Aid can influence the amount of salvage dropped. Changes to essence and salvage. Let's see if they do anything interesting here. Gobblegums can now be recycled to receive instant additional essence. The amount you receive is determined by the Gobblegum rarity. So I don't know why you would ever scrap Gobblegums. I'm assuming that you do this in-game. Like if you get one and you don't want it, you can like get rid of it, I guess. But yeah, I don't know why you would get Gobblegums that you potentially paid money for, or on the other hand, gobblegums that you grinded for to get. Like, I played the game a lot and I don't even have like that many gobblegums. I don't know why you would ever want to scrap them for currency in game that is specific to that one game, but whatever. Anyways, the salvage bonus from certain silencer attachments that perform similarly to their Black Ops 6 counterpart have been lowered, so other muzzle attachments become a valid choice. So this is kind of what I was kind of hoping they would have made it so that other muzzle attachments could have an increased salvage drop rate, but it seems like instead they sort of nerfed the amount that silencers give you, so that it's closer to the regular drop rate with other muzzle attachments, like the sort of the quote-unquote normal drop rate. So that's kind of a shame, but I guess if the game is balanced around. So I guess in Black Ops 6, it's more so you're supercharging your salvage drop rate with a silencer, and not like that's not the normal quote-unquote drop rate for salvage, I guess, is the idea here. And this is also interesting. Miss salvage. If you find salvage hard to come by, expect some help in this regard. Every 10 rounds, you're awarded around 50% of any salvage you previously missed, picking up, which subsequently along with an on-screen message indicating this good fortune. So that's really cool. I wonder if this counts for a salvage stolen by the Ravagers, is that what they're called? Oh, where it'll be explicitly salvage that you just didn't pick up and despawned. And yeah, they have a section for the power-ups. We know what all these do. I don't know if they change anything, we'll see, but they also added the random perk power-up as like an actual power-up that you can get, which I'll read that one down here. Random perk grants players a randomly chosen perk they do not own instant. So I think there are certain conditions you have to meet before this will start dropping in your game, but yeah, that's really cool that is a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like super rare as well. And these are the changes to the power-ups. This is more interesting than just telling us about power-ups we've known about for the past like 15 years. But max ammo power-up now fills your equipment as well as your ammunition. I don't know why. I remember there's a video I made like a while ago where I was talking about like, why don't the max ammos in Black Ops 6 refill like your grenades and tactical equipment? But whatever. Anyways, they're doing it now, I guess. Fire sale now temporarily reduces the cost of traps and wall buys. That's cool. Random perk power-up has been added to the randomly dropped power-ups available. A number of perks must be purchased by all teammates before this power-up can appear. So there's the prerequisite I was talking about. And multiple power-ups randomly dropping within a single round is now a more frequent occurrence. There's a new Gobblegum power vacuum that increases the chance of power-up spawning, okay, after zombie kills. And Gobblegums that summon power-ups, when you pop it, instead of having it spawn in front of you and you have to pick it up, it activates instantly. So that's cool. You don't have to like sit there and wait for it to spawn and wait for you to be able to pick it up. I like this screenshot of Carver and Takeo. There's this little moment at the end of the intro cinematic for Ashes of the Damned where like Carver is like readying his gun and then Takeo is looking over at him and he holds it like Carver, because fucking Takeo is from the 1500s, so he probably doesn't even know what a fucking gun is. Brother, look how long this section is. Oh, interesting. I was like looking at the side because I'm horrified of how long this is, but there's a section that says BO6 Zombies content available in BO7. I'm curious to see what that is. Spending time in the research laboratory certainly starts to pay dividends as Black Ops 7 launches with a huge selection of Coca-Cola's ammo mods, field upgrades, as well as a massive influx of new augments across all of this content. There are new research diagrams for every enhancement, as well as new powerful buffs to wield across the Dark Ether. Black Ops 7 Zombies arrives with 24 different types of enhancements divided into 3 familiar categories: 12 types of Coca-Cola, 1 new, 11 returning, 6 types of ammo mods, 1 new, 5 returning. Interesting. Shadow Blast is not returning. That's odd. I wonder why. I mean, I didn't really use it, so it's whatever, I guess. But yeah, that's weird that out of all the things that are returning. By the way, I should point out, I skipped over it, but we have the new perk Wisp Tea, Juggernog PhD, Elemental Pop, Melee Macchiato, Vulture Aid, Double Tap, Quick Revive, Deadshot, Death Perception, Stamina Up, and Speed Cola. So I believe that is all the perks that were in Black Ops 6 are returning along the new one, Wisp Tea. But yeah, that was gonna be like one of the make or break things on whether or not I even buy this game, is like if they were going to include all the perks that they literally just added into the game. But thank God they're keeping them. So 6 types of field upgrades, 1 new, 5 returning. We have Toxic Growth, which is new, I'm assuming. And Dark Flare, Healing Aura, Frenzy Guard, Energy Mine, and Aether Shroud. I'm kind of sad that the Mr. Peaks field upgrade is not returning, because that seems like just fitting for the mode, but I still think the specialist weapons from BO4, while being absurdly overpowered in like every single way, are like cooler than the field upgrades, at least like aesthetically. Yeah, I believe we saw footage of the Toxic Growth field upgrade in the trailer. So every one of these enhancements arrives with a set of augments to unlock and use. Some returning augments have received tuning changes and tweaks, so forget some of what you know and prepare to learn some new tricks. So for each returning enhancement, Juggernog, for example, expect 6 augments from Black Ops 6 plus 2 brand new augments, 1 major and 1 minor. Black Ops 6 augment research continues with all their completed augment unlocks for every returning Coca-Cola ammo mod and field upgrade accessible in Black Ops 7. So that's cool. All augments that you've unlocked and everything in Black Ops 6 are it's going to carry over into Black Ops 7. So if you have all that stuff unlocked, I'm assuming they will be unlocked in Black Ops 6 or in Black Ops 7. Fucking numbers. Research all 8 augments in your research diagram and you can unlock the extra slot minor augment, which enables you to equip a second minor augment in game. So this is a new thing. Once you reach this milestone, you'll be able to equip 2 minor augments, which is really neat. Therefore, once you've fully researched a specific perk, an ammo mod, or field upgrade in Black Ops 7, you'll have a total of 8 augments with 3, 1 major, 2 minor, being active during a match. So yeah, that's really cool. Oh, wow, I'm surprised they actually talked about this. Hold on. You may have noticed that 2 Black Ops 6 ammo mods, Lightman and Shadow Blast, and 3 field upgrades, Tesla Storm, Frost Blast, and Mr. Peaks aren't listed as returning. Expect them all to appear, each with 2 new augments and an additional minor augment slot to unlock to bolster your offensive capabilities still further during Season 1. So are all of these returning during Season 1? Or because if that's the case, then fine, that's fair, I guess. But I suppose I should be glad that they didn't, you know, do what I was fearing, where they were going to drip feed all the stuff they just gave us. You know, if we have to wait like a month or 2 for this stuff, all of these 3 things to be added back into the game, then so be it. But or 5 things I should say. Yeah, I'm surprised that they addressed this at all, I'll be perfectly honest. So if all this stuff comes back at the same time and then we continue to get more new stuff, then fine. Oh my god, we're still on the enhancement overview. Oh my god. I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume these aren't going to be all as long, or maybe not all as important. But it looks like Juggernog is in the farmhouse. Now I actually have to, you know, think about whether or not this is the survival version or the actual full map, but whatever. Anyways, we've prepared an entire separate augment research blog to detail the returning, adjusted, and new augments available across all perks, mods, and field upgrades. And there's a blog that, I'll be honest, this video is already going to be super long. I'm not going to cover that here. However, yeah, there is a blog, and I will probably read this on my own time or watch Milo's video instead, so I can have somebody explain it to me, because I'm a baby and I like to listen to words. Yeah, there is a separate blog where they detail all of the changes for the augment system. But here's some like general changes to like augments and enhancements and things that I'll go over that they mention here. Round preservation. Anytime an augment enables the enemy to be charmed, brain rot perk is an obvious example. Charmed zombies now avoid slaying the last zombie in the round, allowing you and your teammate to inflict the final blow, especially helpful if you're kiting an enemy while investigating a map more closely. So yeah, that's a cool feature. Brain rot won't kill the last zombie in the round. Bigger game. All big game augments for ammo mods will receive a buff to damage or frequency that they trigger. So yeah, big game is the augment that basically, I believe it increases damage to like elite enemies and stuff like that, and special enemies if I'm not mistaken. So that's cool. Area of effectiveness. Damage types without a hit location, Dead Wire's lightning strike augment, for example, are no longer automatically considered critical hits or headshots. Note, this also applies to any equipment and some traps. So I guess this is kind of a nerf actually, because if these were counting as critical damage before, then they no longer are. I'm assuming that's a nerf. One shot, one chance. Augments that operate on a per shot influence regarding ammunition or weapons that have multiple pellets or an area of effect damage now have a very small cooldown, so as to not make them overwhelmingly effective for those weapon types. Augment examples include Dead Again, Deadshot Daiquiri perk, and a critical eye, Death Perception perk. So this also sounds like a nerf, so I don't think we're going to be able to like fire a double barrel shotgun 19 consecutive times because you're triggering the Deadshot augment. That's kind of a shame. There's going to be a small cooldown, which I guess is fair, but Health Overcharge. A new feature for Black Ops 7 zombies is Overheal, a modifying buff that allows players to temporarily increase their maximum health using certain augments or equipment. Look for a full explanation later in this blog. Okay, so there's a new like overhealing mechanic. That's interesting. Okay, here the next section: Perk-a-Cola Intel and Wisp Tea, the new perk. A total of 12 Perk-a-Colas are available to bolster. A total of 12 Perk-a-Colas are available to bolster. A total of 12 Perk-a-Colas are available to bolster. A total of 12 Perk-a-Colas are available to bolster. A total of 12 Perk-a-Colas are available to bolster. It took me like 5 times to say that, by the way. I'm going to cut that out, but just so you know. You and your team with different abilities. You can obtain as many perks as there are available in the map and can also receive random or all perks using specific bubblegums. So here we have the new perk Wisp Tea. Drink to summon a companion wisp after killing zombies. This is really, really cool. And again, I love how it's tea, like a tea perk, like FPS Psycho was saying in his most recent video. This perk specializes in adding a protective ethereal creature that remains near the player, appearing only after the player inflicts a large amount of damage to the enemy. Use of field upgrades, equipment, and other high damage items quickens the summoning. Oh, interesting. I was expecting them to say does not affect the rate at which it's summoned. Once summoned, the wisp begins to slay nearby enemies for around 30 seconds. 2 minutes later, it can be summoned once again. So yeah, I guess it comes out for 30 seconds and you have to wait on cooldown for 2 minutes. The wisp is summoned after defeating a number of zombies. The number is important rather than the speed of slaying, though obviously the wisp will appear more quickly if the enemies are killed with haste. So yeah, you have to reach a certain amount of zombie kills, I guess, for it to appear. It targets all zombies indiscriminately, and the wisp also realizes the importance of turning around and will refrain from killing the last zombie remaining. So yeah, this is one of the things affected by that change they just mentioned. Now we have the major and minor augments here as well. Here are the major ones. Mask of Wrath, the demon does more damage. Mask of Salvation, the fox can revive you while it's active. This can be done up to 3 times per match. Mask of Distraction, the monkey attracts enemies and does damage in an area. And Mask of Benevolence, the maiden does not attack but will periodically heal you. So yeah, depending on the major augment you have equipped, it changes visually what the wisp looks like, and it does different things, as I've just stated. This seems like a really cool perk and seems infinitely more useful than Melee Macchiato, which is, I said this, I don't remember, I said this on stream or the last video, but it's such a cool perk, but it's so not good. Maybe they'll change it in BO7 along with like the changes to augments and everything and melee weapons, but yeah, here we have the minor augments. We have extension, increase the wisp's lifetime. I wonder how high it's going to, probably like a minute, I would assume. Haste, decrease the cooldown before the wisp can be summoned again. Zombie sitter, the wisp will attract and avoid damaging the last zombie in the round until the round times out. So I guess rounds have like a built-in timeout feature, which is interesting. Fetch it, the wisp will pick up items and power-ups for you aside from the nuke. Oh, well, that's amazing. I'm glad that they stipulated that. There's like a bunch of new crazy shit in this, but also tons of like quality of life stuff, which I was not expecting, I'll be honest. All right, I forgot to press the record button reading this next section, so I literally just yapped for like 10 minutes without recording, but whatever, it's fine. Anyways, we have the next section here, Coca-Cola and the Wonder Fizz updates. Basically, they go on to say how, you know, in Cold War and Black Ops 6, the way perk prices work is that the more perks you buy, the further they increase in price. But in Black Ops 7, if you obtain perks for free via like gobblegums or Easter eggs or other things like that, they will not affect the price of your next perk purchased, which is super neat. And then for the Wonder Fizz specifically, in Black Ops 6 it spawns at round 25, but they go on to mention how in Black Ops 7 the arrival of the Wonder Fizz machine is dependent on you and your teammates. It also arrives after a certain number of perks have been bought, including repurchases by all players. So I don't know what they mean by it is dependent on you and your teammates, and also it depends on how many perks you purchase, or whether that they're saying that depends on you and your teammates, i.e. how many perks you buy. I also don't know how many perks it costs to spawn the Wonder Fizz machine in. I thought it was 4. I thought I read that somewhere, but I might be wrong. And the next section, we have the ammo mod intel and the fireworks ammo mod that they're adding. And they're just talking about how the application of ammo mods work for each weapon, and how they certain enemies have elemental weaknesses depending on the element of the mod that you have equipped. And yeah, they also say there's a cooldown after it procs, so you can't just mindlessly proc ammo mods. And with this super cool snippet of Nikolai Omni movement diving and triggering the ammo mod, it looks really like, I like how vibrant it actually looks. We have the fireworks ammo mod being added back into it since Black Ops 3. I don't remember if it was in Black Ops 4. Each bullet that hits a normal or special enemy has a chance to launch fireworks that target enemies. Here we go. I was right, actually. Last seen in Black Ops 3, this ammo mod is as brightly colored as it is deadly, filling the air above and illuminating the nearby combat zone in a fiery light show, leading to a series of firework explosions that detonate and rip the undead apart in a vivid display of wanton violence. As the initial explosive light show has occurred, damaging zombies caught in the vicinity, stars are launched into the skies before exploding. The subsequent explosion launches a set of individual flares from the stars that fly out and home in on random threats within the general vicinity. The chance of fireworks activating depends on the enemy type, and once the light show is over, expect a small cooldown window before it is available again. So I don't know why they keep reiterating how ammo mods proc mechanically, but whatever. Anyways, and we have the augments here, which are probably going to be relatively standard, except for maybe like 1 or 2 of them. Big game fireworks can activate on elite enemies, creating a bigger light show. So I wonder if it's like visually different, because, you know, it's like fireworks. But starburst fireworks explode immediately, sending flares through enemies in all directions. Weeping willow, instead of targeting enemies with flares, the flares will land on the ground and explode for a while. Okay, that's interesting. Firewheel, create 2 fire wheels that spin around and damage enemies. That sounds cool. And then we have the minor augments, starlight fireworks launch more flares. Big bang fireworks flares deal more damage to special and elite enemies. High yield, increase the area of effect. Short fuse fireworks cooldown is reduced. So yeah, we have some interesting sounding ones, and the minor ones are kind of more standard, as to be expected, honestly. But yeah, I can't believe it's been since when did Black Ops 2 come out? 2015? Been like 10 years since fireworks has been in a Call of Duty Zombies game. That's crazy. And then we have the new field upgrade, Toxic Growth, and I'm assuming information on the other field upgrades as well. Oh yeah, look at it here. It's so like gnarly looking. It reminds me of Zetsubo, honestly. Go figure, the plant field upgrade reminds me of the zombies map that is literally covered in fucking plants. But anyways, expect 6 field upgrades that are still swappable during the match via the pause menu and continue to scale in damage as the rounds continue with the following changes. Field upgrades have lower charge costs earlier in the matches. The number of foes you need to defeat before the field upgrade is fully charged can be activated. Okay, that's cool. Expect to slay small additional numbers of enemies before activation. As the rounds progress, each additional use will have a slightly increased cost to fully charge. So yeah, I guess they're sort of scaling the charge and frequency that you can use field upgrades as the rounds go on, which I guess makes sense. And then we have the new field upgrade, Toxic Growth. Summon a deadly growth of thorns in front of you. Yeah, thorns seem to be like a theme with the wonder weapon and this field upgrade, supporting a more defensive playstyle and extremely useful if you're guarding a narrow entry point from an advancing horde. Toxic Growth allows you to deploy a thicket of viciously sharp thorns that have the additional benefit of being poisonous. Hold down on block pathways and or incoming enemies with the latest in mutant plant life. Add a powerful improvement to your capabilities that inflicts toxic damage. This bush of vines grows rapidly on the ground with a specific width, height, and depth to learn the dimensions of to aid in tactical placement. Enemies that move through Toxic Growth are slowed as they are poisoned and torn apart as the Toxic Growth weakens before finally disintegrating after time or after inflicting a set amount of damage. Toxic Growth doesn't harm you or your teammates. No more than 3 toxic growths can be activated at once. So I guess is that talking about like in a full squad of people, or like even if you're by yourself, you'll somehow be able to, I don't think you'll be able to throw 3 of these on the ground in like a solo game. That'd be crazy. And then we have the augments here. Urcant, Toxic Growth takes up a wider area and enemies that enter the growth continue to be slowed after leaving it. Core Deception, I had to slow down to try and read that. The first normal or special enemy to walk through the growth is entangled and charmed, attacking other enemies that enter. Let's go. Pollination, enemies killed by growth explode, dealing toxic damage to nearby enemies and slowing them. Zukori. Is that how you say that? Zukuri? I feel like I'm saying Zachary with like a really enunciated accent that doesn't exist. Anyways, the first normal or special zombie to walk into the growth becomes the toxic growth itself. Huh, weird. What does that mean? Does it like spread or does it like move? I need more information. Anyways, Ankle Shredder. Enemies moving through the growth are even slower. Green Thumb significantly increases the toxic growth health. Extra charge. Okay, so you can, at the very least, in a solo game, shoot 2 of them on the floor. And plant food. Killing enemies with toxic growth has a chance to drop healing fruit. Oh, cool. Yeah, this is a really cool, like, defensive sort of support augment. I'll be surprised if Ether Shroud is still not the best one in the game, but this is still a cool addition. And then we have a Gobblegum section. I'm not sure. Let me see. So yeah, the most important part in this section is all Gobblegums you've tamed in Black Ops 6 will carry over to Black Ops 7 at launch. Gobblegums are only removed from your inventory after activation and once the effect is completed. And yeah, you know how the color is correspondent to its rarity, but I didn't know this actually. The pattern of the Gobblegum is related to the type and how they generally function. So swirled / striped Gobblegums have an instant effect as soon as you consume them. Plain and solid ones have a timed effect that starts immediately, then counts down for a period of time. Then fleckled / speckled, I had to really slow down to say that, they have conditional effects that only activate once something else happens to trigger it. I wonder what that means. I'm trying to like think in my mind, and it's 12 in the morning. So, but yeah, I didn't know that. That's actually interesting. And then the last thing, Gobblegums have been incorporated into Dead Ops Arcade 4, and there's a mode in Dead Ops Arcade 4 where Gobblegums are disabled, so if you don't want to use them there, there you go. And yeah, they talk about again how you can recycle Gobblegums into essence. I don't know why you would ever do that, but this is interesting. So the exit strategy Gobblegum, which initiates a extract immediately and reduces the zombie spawn rate during exfil, and now automatically exfils the player when you use it instead of having to actually exfil. So counting as a successful exfil. This is probably due to the new exfil feature in Black Ops 7 that they will mention below. So because of however the new exfil works, this Gobblegum now just automatically exfils you. So that's interesting. Yeah, there are 47 Gobblegums in Black Ops 7. 6 of them are new, 41 are returning from Black Ops 6. There's 1 new blue one. There are 2 new purple ones. There are 2 new orange ones, and there are 1 new red one. And then there's all the whimsical Gobblegums are returning. I wonder why this is classified. It says 7 are returning, but is this a new one? I'm not sure. Anyways, and yeah, here's some new Gobblegums. I don't really use Gobblegums apart from like Perkaholic when I'm doing an Easter egg video, but besides that, I don't really use them all that much. I remember I used, what was the one? I forget what it's called, but the one that turned nuke power-ups into like a free 2,000 points. And then I used so many of them that I actually ran out. So I haven't used them since I've started getting new ones. But so we have the 6 new ones that they're adding to the game. We have Aftertaste, which is Aftertaste not an old returning Gobblegum. I guess it's new to like Black Ops 6 and 7, but whatever. Anyways, you keep all your perks after being revived. And we have another Gobblegum called Re-Equipment. Your equipment slots are refilled over time. So that's interesting. Kind of reminds me of Black Ops 4. And we have Power Vacuum. Kills have a higher chance to spawn power-ups. Round Off activates on round non-transition rounds prevented from advancing for 2 rounds. So I guess you pop it and then the next round will not transition to a higher round for the equivalent of 2 more rounds. We have a new legendary called Armageddon. Instantly receive a 3-plate armor vest and 12 plates. That's useful. And then this is the new Ultra gift card. So I don't know, a lot of people apparently have been asking for shopping for you to come back. They're not gonna add, if they add that back, I'll be surprised. They might actually do that now that I think about it. But anyways, this is the closest we're getting to that at the current moment. So you pop it and you get an instant 30,000 points. And it cannot be combined with other bonuses. So I'm assuming if you have double points and you pop it, you're not going to get 60,000 points. Not that that would be useful, because fully pack-a-punching your gun alone costs like 50,000 points. But anyways, so they talk more about the mechanic where you can crush gobblegums to earn essence instead of using them while they're in your inventory. So they mentioned how the amount of money you get is dependent on the rarity. So whimsical being the lowest, and then it goes up all the way to ultra. And they don't specify how many points you get, which is weird that they don't. But things that augment the amount of points that you get, like a double points and other things like that, do affect this. And it also is affected by profit sharing, which is neat, I guess. And this feature can be disabled for specific zombie game modes. So again, I don't know why you would want to do this, especially crushing like an ultra, like a perkaholic or whatever the fuck, but it has to give you like a stupid amount of money. Like there's no way it doesn't, right? And then we have a little section here about the rampage inducer. Let me see. Okay, interesting. There's nothing really important except for this last bit here. In Black Ops 7, the rampage inducer won't spawn the fastest moving zombies super sprinters until round 20. So, I mean, obviously when you activate this, you know what you're getting yourself into, but at the same time, it is kind of nice, you know, in the early rounds, activating it, you're not going to be dealing with super sprinters super early while you're like not at your full strength. So that's nice, I guess. And then we have another section called wall buys, armor, weapons, and ammo. Is there anything important here that I need to go through? Yeah, for wall buys, you can now purchase ammo from wall buys at a discounted price from the weapon. So that's neat. Oh, this is a cool change. Armor wall buys have been combined, allowing you to purchase level 2 and level 3 armor from the same armor wall buy. Yeah, this was weird that it didn't work this way in Black Ops 6, but like I bought level 2 armor. Why do I have to go to the specific level 3 armor wall buy to buy it? I guess it gives you a reason to run over to that side of the map, but I mean, it doesn't really do anything for the game in any way. That's cool. And then we have a section here about ammo caches. Yeah, there's nothing really important here, but they do clarify that ammo cache prices are specific to each weapon and they increase each time the weapons are pack-a-punched. So I always was wondering, I don't know if it works like this in Black Ops 6. I'm assuming it does because they didn't clarify it here. But yeah, I was always wondering what determined the increase in the ammo cache price, whether it was the pack-a-punch level, the rarity, the round, or all 3 of those things. But here it just sounds like it's only the pack-a-punch level. So, and yeah, they reiterate that you can buy ammo from caches and the wall buys for weapons that are on the wall. And also they visually redesigned it, which I think it looks super cool. It's much more eye-catching, more so than the regular military crate that's in Black Ops 6. And this is really interesting. I'm not sure what they say about it below here, but we have a section on the mystery box, and visually the mystery box looks a lot like the Origins mystery box, and in fact it might be the exact same fucking thing. I still think the coolest mystery box is the Chaos mystery box. I don't think it's the same in the like Aether maps, but yeah, on the Chaos maps in Black Ops 4, the mystery box looks so cool in that game. Yeah, there's nothing super important in this section, although they do clarify that as the rounds progress, the weapon rarity from the box does gradually increase. This is cool. The mystery box now has a chance to provide an Aether tool to instantly upgrade your weapon's rarity. So I'm assuming it has to be like round dependent, right? Just like the actual weapons. And support items, aka score streaks, no longer appear in their mystery box. Thank God. Melee weapons no longer appear in their mystery box. That's fine. And the chance to obtain a wonder weapon now gradually increases a bit more than previously as the rounds progress, but it's still a rare phenomenon. So I'm assuming it did that in Black Ops 6, but maybe it's just they're increasing the frequency slightly more in Black Ops 7. And yeah, here they have a section about the crafting tables and equipment, which none of this is really all that like super important, although down here they do talk about the disciple injection. So let me see if there's anything interesting here. Note that overclocks for support score streaks are only available in multiplayer, and a complete list of support equipment and score streaks will be revealed closer to launch, with one important exception, which is the injection. But yeah, that kind of sucks that the overclocks are not going to be able to be used in zombies. At least maybe they'll be just built into the equipment itself. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to see closer to launch what they do with that. But yeah, we have the disciple injection temporarily transforms you into a disciple. After injecting yourself with an unstable serum, your crew member's writhing body quickly transforms into a ferocious floating healing machine. With this devastating new power, you're able to cause some serious havoc, including grab and hold, raise a normal zombie at range into the air and hurl them at other foes, inflicting powerful dark ether damage, drain life, focus your feeding powers to slow slow down and drain the energy from any normal, special, or elite zombie. Unholy Scream. Release a sonic blast that stuns those caught in this audio emanation. I can speak English. But yeah, you basically, you turn into a disciple and you can literally just use all of the abilities that it's had since... When were these introduced? In Cold War? I know they were in Modern Warfare 3, so I'm assuming they were in Cold War. And the next section, we have the Arsenal Machine. So there's nothing really important in this section, although they did, at the bottom here, talk about how they changed the prices for upgrading the rarity of your weapon with salvage. So for green, it's actually more expensive at 1,000, but for blue, it's again more expensive at 1,500 instead of 1,000. But for purple, it's less expensive at 2,000 instead of 2,500. And then for orange, it's the same at 5,000. And they did this because they wanted to further incentivize mystery box and wall buy use. So yeah, I guess you'd be more incentivized to spin the box at a chance to get a higher rarity weapon, or maybe pick a gun off the wall if your weapon is still a lower rarity than all the wall buys on the map. So I guess it makes sense. The only one that's actually cheaper is the purple one, and the orange one is the same, but the other two are now more expensive. So you can also still get Aether tools for rewards from like Easter eggs or I'm assuming trials and whatnot. So it's interesting here. They talk about the elemental weaknesses of the different like ammo mods, but frost and light damage are not going to be in the game at launch. So it's interesting that they're talking about it here. And then we have the Pack-a-Punch machine, which again is on the back of the Wonder Vehicle, which is super cool. We also have another shot of the Pack-a-Punch camo. I wonder what the different colors for it are going to be once you keep upgrading it. So yeah, they talk about how it's a mobile on the back of the Wonder Vehicle, and in survival mode, it's the stationary Pack-a-Punch machine that has been in the game since forever. And you can disable or enable Pack-a-Punch camos in the menu before a match, or by meleeing the Pack-a-Punch machine before you Pack-a-Punch your weapon. So yeah, I don't remember when I originally found this out, but yeah, if you didn't know, you can melee the Pack-a-Punch machine before you actually Pack-a-Punch your weapon, and it'll keep the look of your weapon currently as it is. There are more investigations needed to fully understand the secrets of the Pack-a-Punch machine in Black Ops 7. I wonder, is that like I wonder what that means. If that means anything at all. It might not, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, we have the next section here, TED tasks. So this is replacing the same trials in Black Ops 7 Zombies. So I don't know if that has any relation to what ending to Reckoning is canon. I guess it doesn't really matter, because if you fight the Sam AI and you defeat it, then yeah, she wouldn't be able to summon trial machines because she's not alive. But if you did the other ending and she was alive and got a body, then I guess she wouldn't have a reason to not summon them, but I guess she wouldn't have a reason to summon them anyways because she got what she wanted. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, periodically phasing in and out of the dark ether is a strange interface console with an oversized TED head attached to it. Access it and then complete specific time task that TED has assigned for you. And yeah, just like the SAM trials, the rewards you get depend on how far you complete the task and the rarity and whatnot. And if you get a perk reward, they are usually related to those a player does not already have. That's a weird way to phrase that, but yeah, they're basically saying that if you get a perk reward from a trial machine, then it will more than likely not be a perk that you already have. Maybe there's still a chance for it to be a perk you have, but this is slightly reassuring. And then we have a section about the HUD, which is I'm surprised about, because in that little gameplay snippet we saw of like a dev playing it, it looked like it had the multiplayer HUD. Black Ops 7 allows you to customize your HUD in new and familiar ways and is easily accessed via Zombies HUD. I'm assuming that's supposed to say presets, not presents menu, with additional tweaks available in the settings menu. This includes the removal of the minimap compass, prompts, zombie health bars, and damage numbers. Pack-a-Punch camos can be switched on and off, and you can even choose to remove the HUD elements or all of it entirely. There are 2 additional ways to adjust your HUD experience in Zombies via themes and layouts. Layout, you can select from a variety of HUD interface layouts just like in Black Ops 6, and though individual HUD elements can't be moved, the layout variety includes magnified elements for accessibility or those seeking a cleaner look to their brand new Zombies experience. You can apply custom color to your HUD that has 2 settings, a set of 45 basic colors or a custom color menu with hue, saturation, brightness, Okay, this is the part that I actually cared about. There are several planned themes to choose from, with some elements familiar to those with long appreciation of Call of Duty Zombies. That should be with a long appreciation, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, this sounds like 1, they're not going to be there at launch, but 2, they're going to add them, but I'm also curious if they're going to add them as like microtransactions and stuff like that. Like, is it going to totally overhaul the HUD to look like older games? That would be interesting, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So this is I mentioned this earlier about the exfil, but it's slightly different, and by slightly probably a decent bit different, but the new exfil phone booth. With Raptor 1's fate currently unknown, you won't be relying on a helicopter airlift to exfil you and your team when the going gets overly chaotic. Fortunately, an archaic German Telefonzellen booth, sure, we're going to pretend that's how you pronounce that, repurposed as a cosmic gateway portal, can be called upon both literally and figuratively to extricate you from the mayhem. These phone booths are activated periodically throughout the match. The phone rings, and if you answer it, a portal is conjured where the player requested the exfil. from. However, it also summons an HVT and its minions. This HVT and its underlings must be slain before the time limit expires, and if successful, the portal becomes fully accessible. Fail and you die horribly. Well, that's not encouraging. Oh, interesting. So during the fight, all the other phone booths throughout the map will activate their own portals, and if you step through these portals, they link to the phone booth with the HVT. This allows other teammates elsewhere on the map to quickly teleport in and lend a hand. That's actually neat. Yeah, I guess the map is so big, you might actually need something like this. So yeah, just like in Black Ops 6, if you successfully slay the HVT within the time limit and all the enemies, you successfully exfil, and if you fail to do it within the time limit, you die. But new to Black Ops 7, if some teammates decline the exfil, they can choose to help or ignore their fellow players engaged in HVT combat. Whether the HVT is slain or not, players declining to exfil can continue in the match afterwards without penalty. Players who voted to accept the exfil will end their match, whether they defeat the HVT or die. So yeah, if there's an exfil, you can choose to go along with it, or if you want to keep playing, you can not vote for it and continue playing without penalty. So that's really neat. Oh, we're almost done with this long section. Okay, we have additional features, which is stuff like the melee weapon adjustments. So yeah, there's a beneficial change coming in melee weapons, allowing them to inflict criticals and more damaging attacks, allowing for much more personality. Oh, interesting. So if you aim for the head and you hit it, it causes a critical, which can, does more damage and gets you more essence if you kill them. So that's neat. I thought it was just going to be like a random critical chance type thing, but no, you swing at their head and it does more damage. That makes more sense. And then we have melee heavy attacks. The heavy attack you can use with any melee weapon is now adjusted to be a little slower but dealing more damage. So I think melee weapons have always had like alternate attacks depending on if you click like right click or left click, or like right trigger left trigger, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I guess they're slightly altered so that they're slower and deal more damage. That's neat. And then we have the health overcharge, which allows players to temporarily increase their maximum health via other means. Enhanced health. The most you can raise your health by combined augment effects like Juggernaut's augment, and the stim shot equipment, for example, is plus 100 health above your current health maximum. Employ specific tactics and you can increase your health still further. This bonus to your health is temporary, meaning unlike your regular health, it does not regenerate over time. The bonus is lost once your current health drops below the normal maximum, but it can be temporarily reacquired. Okay, interesting. So it's not timed, I guess. You keep it until you lose it, is what that sounds like. And in this next section, we have zombies gameplay systems. Let's see. We have the return of intel with audio logs and other artifacts and documentation, and you can actually look at them in like a 3D model, I guess, in the menu, which is cool. And save load and rejoin, save load, scoreboard, and rejoining features all return in Black Ops 7 Zombies. So I could have swore in Black Ops 6 there was like a rejoin feature where you would either keep all your stuff if you like disconnected, or it would maybe like give you a ton of money so you can like try and sort of keep up with whatever round you're on. But I don't think that actually worked, or maybe it doesn't work on disconnect. I have no idea. Solo Posigan's coming back. I don't know why it's not infinite, but whatever. Anyways, in this next section, progression and challenges confirmed. Yeah, all the different progression and camo challenges and all the modes are all linked across each other, so there's gonna be a ton of so much grinding, just so much grinding. And the Black Ops 6 content available in Black Ops 7 Zombies. So here they talk about all the stuff that's going to be carried over. So all the double XP tokens are going to carry over, all the Gulbagums are going to carry over, all augment and augment research progression will carry over. The Black Ops 6 dedicated crew, Carver, Gray, Maya, and Weaver, are all carrying over, along with any of the operator skins specifically obtained during the main quest from the rewards from those Easter eggs. So none of the operator bundles that you might have bought in the store for these characters, which is kind of a shame because there's some really cool ones in the store for the zombies characters. But yeah, and the prestige level 1000 skin is also carrying over, because that would be ridiculous if it didn't. And we have Dead Ops Arcade 4 returning. I haven't played Dead Ops Arcade. Did I play? I know I played Dead Ops Arcade 1. Did I play Dead Ops Arcade 2 in Black Ops 3? I might have done it like once or twice. I don't really remember all that much, but yeah. And then I haven't played Cold War, so I've never played 3. But yeah, this goofy ass mode is coming back every odd number Black Ops game. I don't know why that's a thing, but anyways, across battles with the dreaded Cosmic Silverback. Oh my god, I'm getting PTSD. Say you can play solo or up to 4 players, over 20 unique arenas, and an unprecedented 80 levels of chaotic action to reach the confrontation with a pop-up-back, and over 10 bonus rooms to encounter. This game mode is fucking ridiculous. Is that Nuketown? Is that Shattered Veil? What the fuck is going on? Anyways, well, I'm not, okay, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not gonna like go through in detail all of these things for this goofy-ass game mode, but it does seem super in-depth, more than I thought it was gonna be. I'll be perfectly honest. There's vehicles in the mode apparently, which is weird. I don't know how that's gonna work. For the first time, familiar round-based zombies gameplay mechanics are available in Dead Ops Arcade. This includes ammo mods, field upgrades, and Gulbagums. Weird, but if you don't want any of that stuff in it, there is a mode that you can play that doesn't have them, so that's cool for people who care. Also, the casual Guardian from Black Ops 6 in Dead Ops Arcade, by the way. There he is. And this is really cool, actually. If there's a first-person mode for Dead Ups Arcade 4, I wonder, like, because obviously it's like the camera is above your player, and it's like a twin-stick shooter. So I wouldn't assume that the maps are like super high fidelity or anything. So it's gonna be interesting to like see all the details at a camera angle you normally wouldn't be able to. But yeah, that's really cool. There's progression in this that carries over between all the other modes, which is funny. So do you get to pick your weapon? I don't think you can. So I'm assuming it's just gonna be like XP that you get from this. And yeah, right down here at the bottom we have part 5 with additional comms, Call of Duty Next, beta dates, and more. So yeah, the beta dates are for pre-order. If you pre-order the game, it starts on October 10th to the 5th, and then if you don't pre-order the game, it starts on the 5th to the 8th. So if you pre-order the game, you can play from the 2nd to the 8th, which is what, 6 days, something like that. Yeah, 10 a.m. on the 2nd or 5th, depending on if you're playing the open or early access beta. And yeah, just to reiterate, Call of Duty Next is on September 30th, so we'll be able to see like live gameplay of multiplayer and zombies from there. So, but yeah, that is everything. I'm gonna just do this and look how fucking long this blog post is. Look at this stupid shit that is full of cool shit. But yeah, I haven't been like a huge like hater on Black Ops 7 like a ton of other people have. Now, obviously, you know, Activision more so deserves all the criticism and hate, and Treyarch does deserve some of it along with all the other studios. But I will say I've never been, the only thing that I'm still sort of shaky on in terms of this game entirely is the campaign, and that's mostly going to come down to like the narrative and everything. And in terms of gameplay, I think Black Ops 7 Zombies looks really, really fun, and so does the multiplayer, depending on how they balance that. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, I think this game is going to bang, but in terms of the narrative, that remains to be seen, and that goes for the campaign and the and zombies. Yeah, a beta in just a little over a week now, and yeah, first time ever Zombies is going to be playable in a Call of Duty beta. If you pre-order the game, you'll have plenty of time to play like everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who, you know, only play during the open beta and they only play Zombies. So I'm really tempted to pre-order. I'll think about it while I'm editing this video. But yeah, if you did enjoy my schizo analysis of the Black Ops 7 Zombies reveal and blog post, then yeah, liking the video and subscribing would be very much appreciated. This took way longer than I thought it was. I feel like I just read a college dissertation. But yeah, I'm gonna go decompress after all that fucking information and listen to Mr. Waffle Waffles while I make my thumbnail. So anyways, later.
Straight away,